Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, February 26, 2016.
Commissioner Davis, Rodriguez, James, repenting and assent are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Shimen Gong for the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Barry Bergren, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Alan Kawaguchi, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Russ Drizella, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Lori Rittenberg, City Attorney.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did not receive any speaker cards under general public comment, nor any of the items for today's agenda, nor the special agenda as well.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment. Our first item of business, the approval of the meeting minutes from the meeting of Monday, February 8th, 2016. Is there a second to my motion that we approve those meeting minutes by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve those meeting minutes. Agenda item number 1, presentation 24 years service retirement award to Randy Price, Bureau of Engineering. We will start with Gary Lee Moore. Obviously, I didn't have the opportunity to screen this agenda item, or I might have put it off for another few years. Was that at the University of Texas as well? It's a good thing I didn't know that about Carl before. We have we have a quota on the number of Texas fans we allow. But since you're retiring, Randy, now I have someone I can deal with. Well, you probably didn't win that game anyway, so might have been okay to go to the wedding. Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Randy, I'm actually a little emotional right now because you've left such an imprint in Los Angeles, and so thank you so much for coming out here 24 years ago to take that chance. You, along with your colleagues, have been instrumental in helping to advance our technology to use GIS in a way that has become a tool that we just can't function without. And, very much like how we're feeling about you. It's, I think you're right to reflect on so many of the contributions that your colleagues have provided that help to make you a standout, but that's also the sign of great, great leadership. And so this is your time to be fully recognized for providing that instrumental leadership that has been we've so depended upon for the last 24 years. I know just in my 2.5. And I was exchanging messages with Peter Marks, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here this morning, but Waze. So many of the tools that we are now delivering to make this city more functional when it comes to navigating traffic, when it comes to all of these other technical applications, you were very much a part of it. And I said it yesterday at your luncheon. Peter Marks, who obviously has his own very significant decorated credentials in technology, when he discovered you, said, "Oh my gosh, you have Randy Price. He's incredible." And I said, "Yeah, I know. And I know there's a lot more like you, and we're so appreciative of all of the talent that lends themselves to service in this way. And so you will be sorely missed. And I thank you so much for your service. And unfortunately, they framed the certificate because you would have found my post-it that said, 'You can change your mind. Don't go.' But just thank you so much for always being so incredibly helpful, for being that person that can do. And your willingness to work with everyone so that we can actually be the city that we know we can be, and for helping to make so many advancements for us. I really appreciate you and wish you the very best in retirement. I'd like to see a little tractor race between you and my cantor. But I'm just very happy for you on this well-deserved retirement, and just good health and lots of happiness, and thank you.
Commissioner Davis.
Randy, I want to also echo the compliments to the work that you have done here. It's been a pleasure to work with you in my few years of being a commissioner here, and I'm very impressed with the varied experiences that you've had, in Texas and the other places mentioned by Gary. You truly are a leader, and you certainly are a person who definitely made us feel good. They said that some leaders are leaders who know a lot, but it's the leaders that make us feel good that we will remember. And I can say that truly about you as we even look out in the audience today. Everybody is here because they want to be here, and it's obvious that you mix also excitement along with the learning that you have been responsible for. So I'm so proud of your service to the city of Los Angeles, and we wish you the best. Thank you.
Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Randy, it has been an honor to know you very shortly coming on, but I got to say that GIS walkthrough with me and just looking at the city was really incredible in terms of the things that we're able to do as a city. I want to thank Gary and Ted for really sharing with us, the narrative of your career. You spent over a generation here at the city, but you have made your mark, sir. And I think with just yesterday with the Rory M. Shaw Award a couple of days ago, and you embody what it really means to be a city employee for the Bureau of Engineering, and all your colleagues and those engineers that come after you will have your legacy to contend with. But you paved the way and you set the road. So I appreciate you, sir, as you continue to do your travels wherever it may be. May I wish you mabuhay, which means may you live in light and love and blessing, sir. And we'll see you back here. So thank you, Randy.
Commissioner Repenning.
Randy, I just want to also chime in and say thank you, congratulations, and we wish you all the best in your retirement. I actually, maybe we can request a report back, in 5 years to hear all the interesting things that you are certainly going to do with the free time that you have. So I look forward to it. If it involves barbecue, we're here to taste test those recipes, thanks again. It's great to have people like you as part of our city team, and you'll be missed.
Now, I don't have anything that plays that, but I was reminded yesterday that because I've been putting this day off. Gary's been warning me for some time that you were going to retire, and I thought, no, 24 years was not enough. Actually, I was thinking, Randy, and just by a little background, so we both came here I moved here from Houston. I think you moved here from Houston. I consider myself from Oklahoma, but I was in law school in Houston, and we don't get to live as much of the USC-UCLA rivalry that so many of my friends and colleagues get to live. So whenever I can find a nice victim that's been a Texas grad, then I will latch on. And I found out that Randy was a University of Texas grad. So it's been frustrating for me because I've had to learn to rely on a University of Texas grad for so many important things. I don't normally admit that in public, but it's been a great run with you, Randy, and you've instilled confidence for us in knowing that as we move forward technologically, LA has been at the forefront, and we've done so many exciting things. I discovered you first in the Navigate LA presentation that you provided to us in our orientation. And I thought, wow, who's this young guy here who's the head of technology? And I would echo that I trust Gary Lee more inherently in succession planning. That said, it is a challenge to replace anyone of your caliber and the work that you have done. Now, optimistically, when Gary had told me that you were going to be retiring after 24 years, I thought I was doubtful, because I thought, especially with me being here, I thought Randy would not retire in a year that the University of Texas had a losing football season. But then I looked at the prognosis for the program, and I thought, you might be here another 24 years by the time that they have a winning football program. So then I thought that the retirement might be real. And then I saw this awful invitation that was floating around yesterday that says Texas Longhorns on it. And I figured, I was happy to hear that somebody did come to your, with an invitation like this, I couldn't possibly have gone. But I was glad that other people did go. But it is, and thank you for the inside information on Carl Nelson. Now, I do have somebody else that we've at least replaced that part of your absence for me. In all seriousness today, Randy, and those that know me well know that I'm not kidding when any time that the University of Oklahoma football team loses to either Texas or Oklahoma State, I live, and this started not with me, but with my parents, we live in a no orange zone. And this year, even though our football team played for the national championship in the playoffs, and yours didn't make a bowl game, even though that happened, Texas beat Oklahoma. So I have been living in a no orange zone until this morning. I woke up this morning upset that today was going to be your last day here with the city, selfishly and for the city of Los Angeles. But I put on an orange tie don't want to look at right now. But I am wearing an orange tie because today, as far as I'm concerned, in the Department of Public Works and in the city of Los Angeles, today is Randy Price Day because of all the great work that you've done. And I, too, like you, when I moved here from Houston, I came in 1987. I was going to stay 2 years, maybe go back and work at a law firm in Houston or Dallas, and fell in love with this city. And what were we, almost 30 years later for me. But part of the reason I love the city is a direct contribution of the work that you've done for the city. So thank you for your career. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for staying with us. And I will close by saying, you know, things come full circle. I will mention to you, from what I heard from Gary, you know, disco's coming back. And so who knows what, and if you want to open a business in the city of Los Angeles, let me know. We can help you with some permitting. All right? So we hope you stay, and thank you again for your career. So, Randy, here's to you and to whatever you do next, which, as Heather said, I want to hear what it is, because given your pathway to engineering, your pathway out of engineering is going to be equally as exciting. So to a happy and healthy retirement to the next step. Okay, thank you. So what we will do, we'll go off agenda for just a moment so we can get a photo, and you can catch me in this orange tie because it won't happen again.
He bought the tie.
All right, thank you, everyone. Going back on our agenda, we have a special item, special one for today. Bureau of Engineering and Bureau of Street Services for Council District 14, temporary street closure, Metro Regional Connector Transit Corridor Project, recommending the board approve the request to temporarily close the intersection of 2nd Street and Broadway Street between Hill Street and Spring Street and Broadway Street between 1st Street and 3rd Street from 8 a.m. Saturday, February 27, 2016, that's tomorrow, to 6 p.m. Saturday, July 30th, 2016, that's not tomorrow, and intermittent street closures during nights and weekends from August 1, 2016 through September 10, 2016, subject to conditions to facilitate the construction of pile installation, utility relocations, and roadway decking for the 2nd Street or the 2nd Broadway station. We'll start with Mr. G. Morning. Thank you. Try that. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Board. I found a switch, yes. My name is Gary Baker, Deputy Director for the Regional Connector Project. Thank you for the opportunity to come here this morning and present to you our request for closure of Broadway has been described. We're very excited to begin construction in a very earnest way, and thank you for your consideration this morning. I think many of you have handouts in front of you. Referring to the next slide, Garish. What you see here on the first slide is actually a bird's eye view of all the utilities in the 2nd Street, Broadway, and Spring area that we have to build a station box. This is a very large station box, and you can see that the tremendous challenge of working around all these utilities and the unanticipated condition of these utilities has really impacted our construction project, and that's why we're here to seek your approval today. The next slide. Metro and RCC have been working in this area and relocating utilities for the past 18 months. This has been done through partial closures, daily closures, but now it's a time where remaining utility relocations must be completed before the station can proceed. We have a lot of experience in this area, and one thing we know for certain is there's a high risk of encountering unforeseen conditions, and that's what's leading to the requirement to close the intersection so that we can open up the street to find new pathways for the very congested utility corridors. And it's interesting to note that because of this tremendous impact that this has had on our overall schedule, the Metro Board has allocated significant resources to help us recover schedule, because it's important that we meet our federal funding date in May of 2021. And so we're we're ready to start tomorrow. And so with your approval, just describe a little bit about the utilities themselves. Turning to the next sheet there, there's some DWP power duct banks that still need to be completed. There's the orange lines here just represent a portion of what has been done, but this is the remaining work. It's in the center of the street, and a full closure of the intersection will really facilitate its completion. This is the first stage of 2 stages of the work. You'll note that, though, also the yellow arrows there, we are maintaining access to LA Times parking. We've coordinated closely with them. They're supportive of this layout. So, the next slide represents the major duration of work and really the driver for the closure, and that's the relocation of an AT&T duct bank, or I should say a lowering of a very large concrete structure that has to be actually chipped away, and to maintain operations, all of the interducts carefully bound together and lowered in place because they have no slack. And so that unfortunately has led to this requirement. It's a massive duct structure, and this is really the only feasible way to construct the project. Because the excavation in this area is all by hand, so it's very slow, hence the time required to do this. So after that work is done, the full closure will be completed, and the street will be reopened, and we will start traffic. We'll restore the traffic and start the decking operation on weekends between August 1st and September 12th. And at all times, we'll be maintaining access to LA Times. The next slide shows the concurrency of work, and the real benefit of having this closure enables AT&T and DWP to do work concurrently. And concurrent with this work, also, our contractor will be able to do some work as well, some preliminary preparations for piling and things, so it really does help us in terms of expediting construction on the station. And then the final slide, just to kind of recap, the condition of these utilities is what's driving the request for the full closure. We began preparing a traffic management plan and traffic control plans last year in preparation for this closure. MTA and the city will jointly review the traffic condition after this closure is set up. We come here understanding what a significant impact to traffic this is going to be. We will absolutely do everything we can to open up this intersection as quickly as we can. We have crews working, ready to work around the clock. We need to manage the nighttime work in consideration of the neighbors, but we have crews ready to work 3 shifts for this entire duration to expedite work to the extent we can. We also monitor all of our noise and that during that nighttime work. And then finally, the concluding slide. This only comes after extensive outreach to the community, which our team has been working on for the past several months. Consisted of wide distribution of construction notices, wide distribution of social media and advertisements. We've briefed all the major stakeholders, and obviously we're engaged in a very active business mitigation program. Olga Arroyo is here to answer more questions. She's the director of our community outreach program, and if you had any further questions, she'd be glad to answer questions for you.
Thank you, Gary. I would just first, before we go to any questions we may have, I do want to thank Metro and the Bureau of Engineering, the Department of Transportation, the Mayor's Transportation team for working together to bring the presentation forward today in its current state. I know that, and I should add, Council District 14. I know that everyone's been at the table to get us to the point where we are today, and I do appreciate the extra efforts that I know that it took, and the team effort, I would say, to get to the point that getting to a point where we can approve this today. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Gary, thank you for your presentation, for your presence. No doubt, and I echo our President's comments of thank you and appreciation for everybody working together. This is a huge project for our city. We understand that, and we understand that in the area downtown, there is a cumulative regional traffic impact upon this, and I'm happy to know that you folks understand that as well, and that we have to monitor this project, especially at the front end, to see how it's working. We have conditions that will allow us to make adjustments if in fact there is gridlock or there is things that are not working as well. So we appreciate your coming and to share with us constant information report backs about maybe the first quarter. We were able to drill down from 7 months to 6 months, so any less of a full closure is great. And I want to thank especially as well our Bureau of Engineering staff, Larry and Curtis, and all the departments for working together with you for Metro for this project.
It has been a tremendous partnership, and I appreciate all the city departments, city family supporting this and working with us. We are hopeful we can finish this in shorter time than planned, but we've just had experience out there, and we're trying to give you a realistic picture of what to expect, but we'll do everything we can to mitigate traffic and working with DOT. Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Could you tell me again, what's the estimated time of completion that we have set? What is it? Is it in the summer? Or
For this closure work? Yes. So the schedule on sheet 6 shows that the full closure will start tomorrow, subject to your approval, and will extend through the end of July. Okay. There's a little over 5 months.
And this particular station, when do we anticipate we'll complete it?
Oh, I'm sorry. The station construction will take about 3 years.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank
So we're really striving to get the deck on and then get underground and get out of everyone's way and return the traffic to a steady state condition. Okay. But the station will take 3 years. The project will be completed. Our deadline is May of 2021.
Commissioner Penning.
I just want to say that I appreciate the complexity of the situation that you're dealing with, given the utilities. I hope, and so I know it's a tremendous effort happening. I hope that we're able to keep this on time and keep the closure to what we're talking about here, that we don't have to extend it. It's I'm sure you all know, because you work at Public Works and come to City Hall, driving through downtown right now is tough, given all the construction. And so, this is an important project. Hopefully this stays on track. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Penning. Anything further? Thank you. Commissioner Santos made a motion that we adopt Special 1. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt Special 1. Any problem sending it forthwith so they can get started tomorrow? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you for the updated board report and the presentation. There were a couple of housekeeping items I neglected to take care of at the beginning of the meeting. I apologize to those that are here on items 5 and item 8. Item 5, Bureau of Engineering item, will be continuing to Monday, February 29th. Correct, Mr. Executive Officer, on that date?
That is correct.
Okay, for item 5, continuing to Monday, February 29th. Item 8, Bureau's requesting, is it March 11th? Mr. Oishi from the Bureau of Street Services for item number 8. Okay, sorry, Lance, should have taken care of this in the beginning. Any problem continuing until March 11th to get this taken care of? Trying to get the parties to agreement. Okay, well then we'll continue number 8 to March 11th.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Going to our agenda item number 2. Bureau of Engineering for Council District 2, recommending the board authorize the city engineer to acquire a 10-foot wide permanent street easement for parcel 19A on right-of-way number 33714, commonly known as 10947 Burbank Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, in connection with the Burbank Boulevard, Lankershim Boulevard to Cleon Avenue project. Authorize the Director of the Office of Accounting to draw a demand in the amount of $30,300 payable to Ryan Noto Ventures, LLC, to cover the cost of acquiring the permanent street easement. And on agenda item number 2, representative from Bureau of Engineering. Okinyoko.
Okay, Njoko.
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Okay Njoko. I'm from the Real Estate Division of the Bureau of Engineering, and this is Gus Pacero. I have to make this presentation on default. Uri Jimenez has a major family emergency, so he's out. Gus is here, and he has a frog in his throat. He can't even talk.
Okay.
However, this project is my project, so I'm here to talk about Burbank Boulevard, Lancashire to Cleon Avenue, street widening project, and to seek authority from the board to our city engineer to request funding for the permanent street easement. You have already specified everything. We've been here many times before. The project, the city proposes to expand 0.7 mile of this Burbank Boulevard, 10 feet on both sides of the street, thereby converting it to a major highway standard, quite contrary to the substandard which we have now. So there are approximately 53 properties involved, and we have acquired approximately half of it. However, 19 of those things are for permanent street easement, for which we are asking for funding. So our request is asking you to authorize our city engineer to request funding from the accounting office of the Department of Transportation to fund the acquisition of these permanent street easements. Thank you.
And the amount was subject to an appraisal that the Bureau did and was negotiated with the recipient?
Yes, indeed. Actually, the initial appraisal by which we peg our just compensation was $19,300.
Right.
However, what happened was our take came very close to the entrance, whereby Mr. Noto does delivery for his film business. So we have to go to the back through the alley to open the door so that he can be coming down there. For that reason, we asked for, and he provided, two estimates, and we chose the lowest, which happened to be 11,000. That's why we have 30,003.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions on agenda item number 2? Is there a motion on number 2 by Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez? Any objection? We'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Sir, I see you're here on number 3 as well, Bureau of Engineering, also for Council District 2, recommending the board authorize the city engineer to acquire a permanent street easement for parcel 11A on right-of-way number 33714, commonly known as 1155 Burbank Boulevard, North Hollywood, in connection with the Burbank Boulevard, Lankershim Boulevard to Cleon Avenue project, same project. Authorize the Director of the Office of Accounting to draw a demand in the amount of $35,600 payable to Moore Property LLC to cover the cost of acquiring the permanent street easement. Go ahead, sir.
Well, the same project.
Same project, same issues?
Same issues. No, not the same issues. The just compensation was just reached with appraisal, and the property owner just accepted.
And just to, I know the board report makes it clear, but I like the oral report to make it clear. The amounts based on the appraisal of the property and negotiation with the party?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Any questions on number 3? Is there a motion on number 3 by Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez, that we adopt agenda item number 3? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Continuing on to number 4, Bureau of Engineering, also for Council District 2, same project, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to acquire a permanent street easement for parcel 39A on right-of-way number 33714, commonly known as 11306, Burbank Boulevard, North Hollywood, California, in connection with the Burbank Boulevard, Lankershim Boulevard to Cleon Avenue project. Authorize the Director of the Office of Accounting to draw a demand in the amount of $6,300 to Finley Family Trust B to cover the cost of acquiring the permanent street easement. Go ahead, sir. Same project?
Same difference, same project.
Issue?
Yes.
And same negotiation. Was there an appraisal done for the 6,300?
Yes, indeed, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Is there a motion on number 4 by Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioners Davis and Rodriguez? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Thank you, sir. And number 5 will be on Monday. See you then.
So you'll see me again, right?
Yeah. Okay. Have a nice weekend.
Much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6, Bureau of Street Services and Bureau of Contract Administration, recommending the board opt out of implementing the local business preference program and approve the request for bid and authorize the Director of the Bureau of Street Services to distribute and advertise the RFB for production of recycled asphalt concrete from reclaimed asphalt pavement and return to the board with recommendations to award and execute contracts with the selected vendors. Keith Mosaic.
Good morning, Commissioner, board members. I'm Keith Mosaic, Executive Officer with the Bureau of Street Services. And as mentioned, the Bureau of Street Services is asking the board to approve a request for bid on asphalt materials contract for the Zone 1 Maintenance District or Metro Region. This contract will be awarded to multiple vendors to produce 50% recycled asphalt, reclaimed asphalt concrete, is used to resurface city streets in accordance with the BSS paving of 855 lane miles as part of the 2,400 lane mile pavement preservation program. The Bureau of Street Services has been using reclaimed asphalt pavement since the late 80s to recycle and reduce cost. In the last 5 years, BSS has diverted over 1 million tons of materials from landfills and has reduced the cost of hot mix asphalt from approximately $116 a ton to an average price of $34 per ton using RAP. Everyday resurfacing crews cold mill streets, removing layers of asphalt, removing layers of asphalts and sending this material to storage sites to be used in asphalt mixes at a later date. The contract itself will be awarded to multiple bidders to increase production capacity, not only allowing crews to pave more streets, but also to make this contract competitive throughout its life. This will be based on cost, quantity, and most of all, reliability of vendors to supply this material in a timely manner. This will be done to ensure an adequate and reliable supply of recycled asphalt concrete for the city's paving program on any given day.
Keith, I'm sorry, this will be done to ensure, I lost you after that.
I'm sorry, I can speak very fast at times. This will be done to ensure an adequate and reliable supply of recycled asphalt concrete for the city's paving program on any given day as our volume and needs fluctuate. And it will go to a responsive bidder, one of which submits on a timely basis a complete response to this RFP, following all instructions and satisfy all of the city's contracting requirements, making this contract competitive. The Bureau of Street Services has a very aggressive resurfacing program, paving schedule, producing several tons of asphalt daily and as much as 10 to 14,000 tons on weekends. The General Services Division, Standards Division, recommends the use of wrap materials on city streets as it is proven to be a very durable mix of coarse aggregates that provide added strength and stability on heavy-use traffic lanes. The duration of the contract will be 5 years with an annual expenditure of approximately $16 million. And it also should be noted that BSS is seeking to retrofit Asphalt Plant 1 to a 50% reclaimed asphalt plant, again to stabilize prices, reduce costs, and provide a high-quality mix.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Well, I think that was the answer I wanted, was at the tail end there, and this is precisely what we're trying to achieve with the upgrade to Asphalt Plant 1, is that it will increase our own capacity to produce the recycled content, which thereby gives us a much stronger street when we do repaving.
Correct. Wrap is a very coarse aggregate that's very textured, angular in nature, and basically it's a skeletal strength and integrity of the roadway. With that high volumes of traffic, such as buses, things like that, it will basically resist that rutting that we kind of seek, which will save us money not only now but in the future. Also, if we retrofit Asphalt Plant 1, basically we'll have about a 400 ton per hour capacity to produce materials, producing as much as 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 tons per day. And we even find that most vendors can't keep up with our production capacity because we have multiple crews paving. To us, a minimum day's work is for one crew is 1,000 tons. On weekends, we'll pave 5,000 tons, one crew in one day, and as much as 10,000 to 14,000 tons on weekends. As mentioned, when we basically put Asphalt Plant 1 in place, it stabilizes the asphalt prices for this region. And also it gives us control of our program, as vendors can't give us substandard materials. Because as you know, there's an aggregate shortage as far as in this region to where you can't just go open a quarry someplace in someone's backyard. So this basically, there's an abundant supply of wrap on city streets. It's a very good mix, and it's a very stable mix.
Right. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Keith. Any other questions? I don't have any questions either. Commissioner Rodriguez has made a motion. I'll second it, that we adopt agenda item number 6. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send number 6 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7, Bureau of Sanitation requesting the mayor and city council authorize the board to execute a memorandum of understanding with the cities of Carson and Lawndale for administering the development of an enhanced watershed management program and a coordinated integrated monitoring program as required by the new National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit for the municipal separate storm sewer system. Alfredo Magallanes?
Magallanes.
Aganis.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning.
Alfredo, go ahead.
Good morning, Board President, Commissioners, Bureau Reps, City Attorney, Executive Officer. Again, my name is Alfredo Magallanes. I'm with the LA Sanitation Watershed Protection Division. I'm actually an Assistant Division Manager there. A little background, like the President says, this is in relation to the Municipal Stormwater Permit adopted back in 2012. The city currently is leading 4 watersheds to develop the Enhanced Watershed Management Programs, as well as the Coordinated Integrated Management Program. Just to give you a little background on the timeline, the Coordinated Monitoring Program was submitted back in June of 2014, with our draft EWIMP Enhanced Watershed Management Program document submitted back in June of 2015. We're doing this in collaboration with over 30 partner agencies throughout the region. First things that got approved was the Coordinated Integrated Monitoring Program this past fall 2015. and implementation efforts are currently being led by Ms. Vivian Marquez, who is our environmental officer, implementing the SIMP. The EWIMP actually has been submitted just recently. We submitted the responses, and we're awaiting approval in April or May of this year, which will require implementation, which brings us to this item on the board. Back in August 2015, the regional board contacted us to basically allow Carson and Lawndale to join the Dominguez Watershed Management Area Group after the fact of the submittal of June 2015. So that really put a wrench on our schedule and threw things off for the implementation for the Dominguez Watershed Management Group. Right now, we're asking the board to execute this MOU to acknowledge the joining of Carson and Lawndale. As well, Carson and Lawndale, because they basically screwed up our schedule, have agreed to reimburse the other agencies within the Dominguez watershed for $85,000, basically due for work that it's not usable. We had already started with the design of the monitoring stations and staff time that we already had put out in the field to inventory all the outfalls in the Dominguez channel. So again, it's for $85,000. MOU duration is until June of 2016. Carson and Lawndale are willing to pay. Both of those cities have already executed the MOU and are waiting for us to invoice them. The amount coming to the city would be $43,000. The remainder, $41,548, will be distributed among the other Dominguez Channel members, which include the City of Hawthorne, City of El Segundo, City of Inglewood, City of Lomita, County of LA, and the LA Flood Control District.
Is there a motion? Commissioner Repenning, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any problem sending it forthwith? Send number 7 forthwith. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a nice weekend, Alfredo. Agenda item number 8, continued until March 11th. Agenda item number 9. Office of Accounting and Bureau of Engineering requesting board approval and execution of authority for expenditure in the amount of $20,756.72 for payment of the renewal of on-site license for online services and products including engineering codes and standards for the period of January 1, 2016 through June 19, 2016. This is from Bureau of Engineering, Edward Arrington.
Thank you. Again, Edward Arrington with Bureau of Engineering. Yes, this authorization for expenditure essentially for the renewal of our annual contract with IHS. Essentially what this does, this provides access for Bureau of Engineering employees to look at various standards and codes that they need throughout the day as they proceed to do any kind of design or support for construction activities. In addition, we use this information for any research that we have to do, as well as for evaluating any non-standard products or any other materials that come through the Bureau of Engineering. Just a general background, besides the various standards that are selected from year to year, we also looked at different products or different standards for which may not be continually being used. In that case, we ensure that we are actively looking at the list so that we stay present with the various standards that are active at that particular time, and also ensure that the cost for these services also stays to the point that we reflects the needs that we have for the Bureau of Engineering. With that, if you have any questions, I will try to answer.
Any questions regarding agenda item number 9? I don't have any questions. Commissioner Asintos made a motion that we adopt number 9. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 9. We can send it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 10, specifications are submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. This is for tree trimming in the parkways of Chase Avenue from Short Avenue to the alley and certain other streets. Council District 11, estimate $481,275. Bid receipt date Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. Mr. Tyson, anything remarkable about this that we need to know, or we move forward?
Move it forward, President James. There's only one thing about this. This is the only one that didn't get the year option 1 and 2 out of all 15 CDs. After speaking with the district director and making some decisions with her, Debbie Diner-Harris, we decided to go ahead and put together a 1-year contract and then next year talk about the pilot.
So that was the specific request of the council office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make a motion on agenda item number 10. Is there a second by Commissioner Cento? Any objection? And Commissioner Davis? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 10. Any problem sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith.
And I'd like to especially thank Fernando Campos for all his help.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And agenda item number 11. Oral report, status on activities from the Office of Community Beautification, continued from February 12th, 2016 to today. Mr. Roch, welcome, sir.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. Just to provide a quick and brief update on some of the activities of our office, primarily focusing from January 1st up to current period of time. Starting with the graffiti abatement portion, since January 1st, OCB contractors have removed 3.6 million square feet of graffiti from over 55,300 locations citywide.
Paul, would you repeat that?
Yeah.
Since what?
3.6 million square feet of graffiti from over 55,300 locations. And that
Since
was,
when?
Since January 1st.
Okay.
Up to yesterday, really. So that number continues to go up
Yeah.
every minute as we move on, and the contractors are out there removing graffiti. We did switch over from the old graffiti database to the new MyLA 311 request system.
How's it going?
At the beginning of January. There's still a few bugs in the system, nothing real major. It's a little bit more complicated, so our contractors are still kind of adjusting to the new system, but there's a lot more that both they and us are able to do with it. So I think once we kind of get through that adjustment period, it's going to be a good thing. We've had a lot of support from ITA working with us to manage some of the small kinks in the program, but overall it's going well. I think, one of the things we're finding is that as they've increased the capabilities of the mobile app system, there are a lot more people utilizing that. So we are getting a lot more requests for service, which is a good thing and a bad thing, sort of. Obviously we want people reporting graffiti, but sometimes, we find that if we have to chase too many requests, we actually get less graffiti removed. Just because they're not as able to do the proactive work of driving down a major corridor and getting stuff, whether it's actually been reported or not. We're also finding that, in some cases, somebody might just go out there with the mobile app, report every little 2-inch, section of graffiti that they come across, and makes it somewhat difficult for our contractors to kind of stay up on top of that. So that's a continuing challenge that they're working with, but we do have on an average daily basis about 85 graffiti crews out there citywide, doing what they're able to do in the amount of time that they have to do it. Beginning in the middle of January, the OCB contractors have now also started public right-of-way cleanup work as part of the Clean Streets Initiative. So since approximately January the 19th, OCB contractors have cleaned 177 locations throughout the city of Los Angeles, cleaning up weeds, picking up litter and trash, picking up bulky items, and obviously with the time frame that they began in, also a number of sort of those loose and discarded Christmas trees that seem to pop up throughout the city of Los Angeles. So that program is continuing to evolve, and we look forward to the contractors becoming more and more involved through that program as well. In terms of the volunteer cleanups, the January-February period is kind of our slower time as far as volunteers, but we did still support from January 1st up to current 12 volunteer cleanup events, including the MLK Day of Service. Did an event with the North Hollywood Church of Latter-day Saints, worked with Leggett Street Elementary School, 49th Street Elementary School, Dolores Huerta Elementary School, and Nightingale Middle School on beautification projects and programs on the campuses and in the surrounding community. Also work with West Adams High School, Manual Arts High School. We supported and helped coordinate 2 natural area cleanups, one in the Sepulveda Basin and one along the Bayona Creek area. And we're looking forward to some major cleanups coming up as we move into March and April, spring cleaning, Earth Day type of events, also the Great American Cleanup Period, which is part of Keep America Beautiful's sort of nationwide, focus on beautification and cleanup. Los Angeles has been selected as one of the 4 sort of high-impact Great American Cleanup kickoff days. So in April, Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, and Dallas will be hosting Keep America Beautiful Great American Cleanup kickoff events. Our focus will be along a median improvement project along San Vicente Boulevard in Council District 10 as part of the new trying to ease the adopt-a-median process that Commissioner Rodriguez has been heading up. We're looking forward to working with the Office of Councilmember Wesson on getting that established. It should be a good event. As part of that, there are also going to be a lot of other events, just Great American Cleanup type of events and things like that. And finally, probably or perhaps one of the highlights for me is that OCB has been allowed to fill 2 vacant positions that we've been holding for a long time. So we will have 2 new staff members beginning on March 21st. Some young and very capable
Pop the champagne.
people. So yeah, definitely. We have one person who is currently a city employee, works as a field deputy for one of the council offices, and another person who is currently employed by the city of Santa Ana and will be coming and beginning with the city of LA. So we're looking forward to that as well. And with that, completes my update for some of the activities of OCB.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez.
I just want to say, Paul, thank you. I'm very excited about our selection for the Keep America Beautiful grant. That launch is a big deal. It will garner us national attention from a number of other cities, and I'm so thankful that that Keep Los Angeles Beautiful was established so many years ago, but in that very short time frame, we've managed to create a number of programs that have really put a spotlight on the work that we're doing in Los Angeles that we hadn't been able to really help to build before, and that we've built it through this vehicle, I think has been really outstanding. I want to thank you for being a co-conspirator with me to secure that grant, and I'm very excited about what it's also going to mean for really to streamline the process as part of this Adopt a Median program. It's one of those things that we can do, and I think OCB has been a very successful example of how we can work collaboratively with communities across this city. It's a shared responsibility for us to work hand in hand with community organizations, and so to help streamline that process, to help ensure that constituencies are able to navigate working with the city much easier. I think that's one of our biggest and best objectives, and I'm so grateful that we have a vehicle like OCB to help us facilitate that. So I want to thank you for your help and support in that area.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez. Anybody else?
I want to thank Paul once again for the work that has been accomplished in this report, and as always, it is important for us to reach out to the young people in our community who have this as a tool and a vehicle by which they can help to improve their communities and also get work, in addition to the fact that we're able to empower the vendors who are also equally managing and supervising the young people and getting the work done. So we thank you for what you do for Public Works. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. The oral report will be received. I see action down there from Mr. Campos.
Yeah, Mr. President, if I could, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Paul, I also want to say thank you for not only enduring about 7-8 months of not having staff, but we're looking forward that these two staff members will be joining the OCB team and also getting things done and moving us forward with some of the initiatives that we've discussed. In addition to that, please thank Jerry for participating in the street median design program. We are super excited to move that forward, and I see the shovel already in the ground. So I'm visualizing and realizing that, and it's been a process that we've gone for a couple of months, and we've been meeting on a biweekly basis. So thank you and your team for that. And then also the CSI program. Super excited to super excited to see that the OCB contractors are actually out in the ground now, cleaning up the weeds, cleaning up the litter, and then assisting with the CSI program. So thank you very much for all you do.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Mr. Executive Officer, are we clear of the desk?
Yes, you have.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you.